Something amazing is happening in China, where scientists are actively working on producing clothing that makes people effectively invisible. For so long, invisibility has been put on the same pedestal as superpowers like superhuman elasticity and incredible strength, like the famous Fantastic Four heroes. But now, human invisibility is closer to reality than science fiction, and it's all thanks to what researchers are calling Self-Adaptive Photochromism, or SAP for short. SAP is pretty self-explanatory when you break down the words. It's simply the ability for an object to wrap light around itself in a way that reflects the objects around it. In other words, applying this technology to clothing could make an individual effectively invisible, said lead researcher Wang Dongsheng in an interview published by China Science Daily. That means while it may not be completely transparent, as most imagine invisibility to be, for all intents and purposes, it makes the object disappear. Many animals possess this active camouflaging skill, including the famous chameleon. The reptile makes itself less visible by using specialized cells called iridophores and chromatophores. The former, iridophores, contain tiny nanocrystals that reflect different wavelengths of light, so when they're closely packed, it reflects shorter wavelengths that correspond with blue and purple hues. But when they're loosely packed, brighter colors like red, yellow, and orange shine through. Combined with chromatophore cells that contain pigment, chameleons are able to effectively reflect almost any color on the light spectrum. For example, blue light reflected from iridophores passing through yellow pigments in other cells will result in a green appearance. A few aquatic creatures, like octopuses and squid, are also able to achieve near invisibility with the same principle. But why is the anatomy of these animals relevant to modern scientists trying to replicate invisibility? Well, it's because self-adaptive photochromism works on the same principle. Instead of Mother Nature's specialized cells, SAP relies on photochromic molecules, which are molecules that reversibly change their structure and color upon exposure to light. Now, when you pack multiple of these molecules into a material, it gains the ability to change color and essentially becomes invisible under the right light. However, if achieving invisibility were that simple, we would have cracked the code decades ago. For most of the late 19th to mid-20th century, scientists that observed photochromic effects were simply awed by its ability to change color. In 1867, Carl Julius Fritzsche first reported this phenomenon when he noted that a solution of orange tetracene lost its color in daylight and regained it in the dark. Nearly 100 years later, in the 1960s, William H. Armistead and Stanley Donald Stuckey would commercialize that knowledge to make the first commercially viable photochromic lenses for eyeglasses. Self-adaptive photochromism wouldn't become a viable means to mimic active camouflage till more recently, in the 2010s. I know you're probably asking, what changed? Well, it was the discovery of donor-acceptor Stenhouse adducts, DASAs. Unlike traditional photochromic molecules, DASAs exhibit what scientists call negative photochromism, which is a fancy way of saying that they are typically dark-colored but turn significantly lighter or colorless when exposed to light. Another reason I think the discovery of DASA was a major game-changer was because of how it reacts strongly to visible light. Before then, traditional photochromic molecules were known to mostly respond to UV light, which doesn't carry as much information about color in our visible environment. As a result, the molecules could only change their absorption slightly, meaning colors would change hues at best. DASAs are one step up because on exposure to light, the linear colored molecules adopt a cyclic, colorless form, creating a significant absorption gap. In plain terms, that means if you mix these molecules with specific dyes, they respond by blending with objects of that color. For example, if you take a DASA molecule in its original black or very dark linear form and expose it to red light from a red background, the DASA molecules will undergo linear to cyclic isomerization. This isomerization will then make the material unable to process light at that wavelength, allowing the object to reflect that color back and blend with the background. That's why the discovery and development of DASA materials is so exciting in the scientific world. Before then, replicating this camouflage skill in man-made systems was a bit more complicated. Unlike naturally occurring molecules or evolutionarily perfected specialized cells, artificial systems have to first recognize the background they're trying to imitate, process it, stimulate, and change. As a result, this four-step process typically requires high-definition cameras that capture light and transform it into digital signals. These signals then trigger external stimuli, such as heat or electricity, which induces color switching. That brings us back to recent Chinese studies on SAP using materials that leverage negative photochromism. In one experiment, researchers were successfully able to create active camouflage by placing an SAP solution-filled container in environments with red, green, or yellow colors in the background. Within 60 seconds, the solution changed colors to match its surroundings, rendering it invisible. Amazingly, this team of researchers, led by Wang Dongsheng from the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China, have also recently moved beyond liquid solutions. In a publication from late 2024 in a journal called Science's Advances, the team published their findings on incorporating SAP materials like polycaprolactone into flexible films and coatings. The material then adapted its color to blend seamlessly with the surrounding environment within a 30 to 80 second time frame. I think this breakthrough is especially relevant because it shows that self-adaptive photochromism has practical applications beyond solutions in a lab. Imagine being able to mass-produce military uniforms using this technology to effectively render troops invisible to the enemy. Considering recent speculations of an impending world war, this type of innovation could be a game-changer on the field. Armies with chameleon-like camouflage abilities could effectively march through enemy territory unseen and unopposed. They'd blend seamlessly with copper-red desert sands and lush green forests, and by the time the enemy realized they were at the gates, it'd be too late. I think it also helps that SAP materials display quick color adaptation, making it promising for real-time camouflage. With a 30 to 80 second window, it's incredibly fast at mimicking its environment, giving troops enough time to escape detection. Besides its quick performance, another reason SAP materials are so impressive is that they function effectively across a wide temperature range, from -20 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius, -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 158 degrees Fahrenheit. That makes it ideal for missions in diverse environments, experiencing weather extremes. It also makes it suitable for other industries with varying temperature demands. Beyond the tactical advantage on the battlefield, the mainstream use of self-adaptive photochromism would have other effects. We'd be able to create buildings that change colors to match the sky, or invisible patrol cars that track criminals undetected. Even the fashion and art industries would get a significant boost. Imagine how quickly a t-shirt that changes color would fly off the rack. Also, how much would you pay for a unique painting that changes with light? It'll certainly be interesting to see what the future holds when scientists can effectively incorporate DASAs into everyday items. Of course, there are shortcomings to this technology. Wang and his team of researchers admit that current materials are not able to reflect light from the entire visible light spectrum. If you've been paying attention, you'd have noticed I made no mention of blue and purple in the earlier experiments. That's because these colors have a shorter wavelength. Why is that relevant? Well, when DASAs change from their original linear to cyclic form, the absorption gap only forms in middle to longer wavelength regions, effectively blending with colors like red, yellow, and even green. But that leaves out colors like blue and purple, which are in very high-energy visible light regions. As a result, researchers speculate that creating solutions or materials that effectively blend with these cooler colors will require designing DASA with a broader absorption spectrum. However, that's a lot easier than it sounds because the current electronic structure simply doesn't favor significant absorption. So to compensate for that shortcoming, scientists currently incorporate fixed, non-photochromic organic dyes which absorb the violets and blues. Now, as impressive as self-adaptive photochromic technology is, there are some who argue that it's not true invisibility. After all, adding SAP onto a film only gives the material the ability to copy its background. As a result, the object only becomes harder to detect because its surface now matches its environment. However, it still remains in place, blocking light, rather than letting it through like a truly invisible object would. In practice, that means even with perfect color and texture matching, the item's shape and silhouette could still give it away. Anyone paying close enough attention might notice that the background lacks continuity, especially if it has a texture or pattern that's harder to mimic. For example, photochromic materials may be able to perfectly color match a red stone, but as a liquid solution or thin film, it can't copy the jagged or rough edges of a rock. That means the contrast of outlines and textures could be an immediate giveaway in the middle of an operation and wouldn't be very effective in all stealth missions. So what does it mean for an object to be truly invisible? For context, when light from the sun or an external source like a lamp falls on an object, the light bounces off it and enters your eyes. Since human eyes have a retina with special cells that can detect this light, they send messages to your brain, which then interprets these signals to form images. However, rather than allowing light to bounce off of it, an invisible material bends the light, causing it to flow around the object rather than reflect. So with no light waves hitting your eyes, the material becomes effectively invisible, making it a successful cloaking device. And that brings us to another groundbreaking experiment Chinese scientists are currently working on. Word about China's invisibility cloak started surfacing early in January 2024, when Chinese scientists from Zhejiang University claimed to have made significant advancements in adaptive camouflage. Before their showcase, previous camouflage technology did a poor job of blending in with complicated optical backgrounds or remaining adaptive when there was a sudden change in temperature or humidity. Think of it as a dry patch of grass sticking out in a wet field. If anything, such primitive technology made it easier to identify on the battlefield. To solve that issue, Chinese scientists realized they had to ensure the suit was self-adaptive and could adjust to fit the background in real time. In essence, they worked to recreate Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, but with science instead of magic. So when they were finally ready to reveal their breakthrough, it sent shockwaves throughout the world. In addition to the scientists working at Zhejiang University, researchers at Jilin and Tsinghua University, China, worked together to conceptualize the hybrid material that would become the first invisibility suit. At its launch, the team dubbed the material the Chimera Metamaterial, named after the Greek mythical monster with the head of a lion, the body of a goat, and the tail of a serpent. This decision was to reflect how the material's innovation came from studying three creatures with camouflaging abilities: the chameleon, glass frog, and bearded dragon. The engineers claimed that this hybrid material allowed their suit to change the way light bounces off of it instead of reflecting it like photochromic materials do. The suit's real leap forward lies in its ability to interact with multiple parts of the electromagnetic spectrum at once. Where previous cloaking devices relied heavily on passive camouflage or limited light redirection, the Chimera actively responds to environmental conditions. This dynamic response is essential in military and surveillance operations, where background conditions can shift rapidly between different terrains or climates. Moreover, this responsiveness is not digitally powered, but structurally encoded, making the suit immune to external signal jamming or electronic disruption. As impressive as that is, the Chimera metasurface isn't a Harry Potter-style magic cloak. It's a sophisticated, multi-layered metamaterial that pushes cloaking innovation by taking inspiration from nature. Like a chameleon adjusting its iridophores, those specialized cells with tiny nanocrystals to reflect light at different wavelengths, the Chimera can also adjust its surface to reflect microwave reflection. That means beyond changing color, it can also closely mimic environments like water, sand, and ice. And it is able to do that by mechanically changing the connections within its layers. This reconfiguration changes how microwaves interact with the material. The changes also allow visible light to pass through with minimal scattering, rendering the surface nearly invisible to human eyes. Glass frogs are also known to utilize such optical transparency. Finally, like the bearded dragon, the Chimera metamaterial mechanically controls its thermal behavior, thus successfully evading infrared detection. In other words, this innovative technology isn't just invisible to the eyes, it's also undetectable through infrared cameras or microwave detectors. In simulated battlefield environments, the Chimera suit was tested under varying temperatures, humidity levels, and lighting conditions. Across these tests, the material maintained its cloaking integrity without the need for recalibration. According to lead materials scientists, this makes it ideal for real-time use in reconnaissance drones or amphibious tactical gear. The key advantage is its passive adaptability, a feature that mimics biology, not just physics. Sir John Pendry was the first to unveil this groundbreaking concept and pioneer the study of metamaterials. As a theoretical physicist, he made breakthroughs in the field by observing objects with a negative refractive index. These are objects that bend light in the opposite direction most objects take, and is relevant in super-resolution imaging used in medical diagnostics. Then in the late 1990s and early 2000s, he went on to conceptualize the first metamaterial, an artificially engineered composite material with precisely designed sub-wavelength microstructures that was independent of its chemical composition. With the help of fellow researchers David R. Smith and David Schurig from Duke University, Pendry built on his concept and combined it with transformation optic principles. This experiment made it possible for the metamaterials to control the path of electromagnetic waves in different ways. Of course, his work laid the foundation for scientists working on effective cloaking devices in the next decades. Still, these brilliant Chinese scientists took it a step further by engineering this technology to be aero-amphibious. In other words, their invisibility cloak can remain self-adaptive in air or water, extending its application to the Air Force and Navy. And it isn't just talk. These researchers have also successfully applied the concept to test drones in air, land, and sea environments with a 95% success rate. So unlike previous attempts at creating an invisibility suit that was bound to land, the Chimera metamaterial can effectively help military officers avoid detection as they move from one medium to another. Of course, the Chinese aren't the only ones working on stealth technology. Over in Germany, researchers at the University of Beirut are working on their own approach to achieve invisibility. Rather than relying on photochromic materials that reflect light or Chimera metasurfaces that bend it, they're opting to manipulate the magnetic field. In other words, they're extending cloaking to particle motions. But how exactly does that make an object disappear? In essence, the research team creates a magnetic field with a checkerboard pattern. They then introduce small particles called colloids, which become magnetic when a magnet is nearby. Thus, by carefully creating invisible spots on the chessboard patterned surface and altering the magnetic field, they can control what direction the colloids take. As a result, the particles flow around these hidden spots, like water around a rock. I think the best part is that these magnetically engineered obstacles don't affect the speed of the particles. According to one of the researchers, Anna Rossi, we have also shown experimentally that if the obstacle shape is chosen correctly, the size of the obstacle does not matter. It can be any size and the particles still arrive at their destination in time. That essentially means this principle doesn't just apply on a micro level. You can scale it up and in theory make any object invisible, from a tiny pebble to a jet. So what do you think about a future where invisibility suits either using photochromic molecules or Chimera metamaterials are possible? Do you think it's something that would have a net positive impact on our world, or are the ethical and safety concerns too much of a risk? Share your thoughts with me in the comments section below, and remember to like this video and subscribe so you get the latest AI updates.